Tak biasa. Yeah. What incredible support. I know it's coming. Here. Right. Where we're going to differentiate ourselves from opening government is that we're going to tell you specifically, and specifically in the context of Pakistan, of how changing the paradigm on war and terror in Pakistan is going to help to change things better in the long term, for Pakistan. Right? We're going to give you specific examples and tell you exactly how moving away from drones and what exactly are the alternatives and how those alternatives are going to work in the best favor of America and also Pakistan and the world at large. Right? We think this model should be adopted in many different countries. Right? The phasing out of drones as a practice, not just in Pakistan, but in any other country in the world. Right? We think that's something we're very happy to support. We think that a large part of my rebuttals are going to be integrated within my speech. I'll move into that in my extension right now. Right? I'll be talking about two main ideas. Firstly, on changing the paradigm on war on terror. Right? Talking about it being inclusive versus exclusive, about getting actors to be involved within their own backyard, and what's happening within their own backyard. On the second part, I'll also engage with what I think closing opposition is going to talk about, right? The utility of drones as a tool. We think that it is not. We think on a weightage of what is harms and benefits. We think we're also going to win that argument before session even starts, right? So you should probably prep for a different extension right now. On the first idea, right? Changing the paradigm on the war and terror, right? We need to recognize this first off, right? We think killing individuals does not kill the ideology that pushes this individual towards his war on terror, right? We think there's a limit to how much, right? Even if we assume that drones are always going to be perfect and can kill every individual that actually is involved in terror, right? We think there is an actual benefit in bringing these individuals to a trial process, right? Where there's an adjudication of what they stand for, where there's an adjudication of their values they stand for, and the world condemning not just the West, Mr. Speaker, but also the people from where these people are from, also condemning what these individuals do. I think that the adjudication process is lost, especially when you just kill this individual as opposed to bringing them to court and having that kind of process to adjudicate those values, right? I'll move into this first idea, not yet. This first idea of being inclusive versus exclusive, because the nature of drones necessarily excludes partners, right? It is covert. It forces distrust, right? It is less about cooperating with the people whose backyards you're working in, but more about you doing what you want to do unilaterally within those places, right? We think that's a harmful thing because it continues this false idea that America can stamp out terror all on its own, right? We think that it's not sustainable. Why? We think terror is spreading. It is spreading, and the war on terror right now, as the way America has gone about it, is absolutely failing, right? It's spreading to Yemen. It's spreading to different parts of the world, right? We think there's radicalization that's happening as a result of the arms that are coming out of Libya, right? It's spreading to North Africa. We think there needs to be a significant change on how the world views terror, essentially, right? What do we need to do right now? We think we need to get actors self-interested in stamping out terror within their own backyards. Right? We think, especially in the case of Pakistan, they're at an especially important moment in time. Right? There's never been so much support against Taliban right now, especially after the killing or the attempted murder of Malala Yousafzai, right? Politicians will act on a mandate to stamp out these Taliban individuals in Taliban. Now is the best time to act, Mr. Speaker. But if the US continues their drone policy, right, we think it continuously paints the picture of any politician opposing Taliban to be pro-West. We think this is what fuels the idea and continues the perpetuation of extremist ideas continue to exist, right? Because we think there are politicians who do want to stand for Taliban, but they are feared to be considered as sympathizers to the West and supporting their ideology. So I think that has to change, and this will change that significantly, right? We look at the example of Yemen, right? How though there was drone attacks, what significantly changed in Yemen in their war on terror was when President Ali Abdullah Saleh was replaced by Abdul Rabu Mansur Hadi, right, with the abuse of aid stopped, and they themselves took a specific action to stamp out terror within their own backyard, right? And that's exactly what we support, right? What are the alternatives to drones? We think that America should engage Pakistan to have their own troops go out to Taliban and find these individuals, right? But not just that, don't kill them, Mr. Speaker, but bring them to a court, have them be trial in a Pakistani court, right? Let the values for what they stand for be adjudicated within the court, and let Pakistan decide for themselves and show the world that even within Pakistan they disagree what terror is and what its individuals stand for, right? We think that is a far better resolution in killing the ideology versus killing the individuals. We think that there's no end, right? But I'll take one for closing because you guys are part of this debate.
Sir, these Pakistani militants have been trying to get them, and they are clearly what happened is at the end of the day, they get bombed. You need a more systematic approach. Drones can do that.
Exactly. We think systematic approaches can happen even under the paradigm of having cooperation with these individuals, right? But why? Let's move into the second idea. So this ties in nicely with the second idea, right? Why drones are a poor tool if you're looking at purely a utilitarian calculus, right? Why? Because drones, we think, involves taking unnecessary risks, right? Because we think there is a value of putting soldiers in those planes or putting soldiers on the ground. Because it forces you to reevaluate your missions, right? Because we think if you can send drones in with little to lose, right? There's no lives lost, right? We think you're going to be able to be more encouraged to send these drones, right? You're going to be more encouraged to bomb this village because, hey, the risk is very minimal. At most, I lose a machine. There's no lives at stake on my side. We think that's the important thing to defend because the nature of warfare includes this risk, and this risk is a natural deterrent from individuals abusing their power, abusing their weapons, and killing and causing unnecessarily collateral damage, right? But more than that, we think it's a poor tool, right? There's so many harms to this, right? But the first idea was the anti-US sentiment that we built up, that opening talked about, right? We think there's a less accountability in that sense because there's no way to adjudicate who carried out this attack, right? Where was this drone machine from, right? There's no accountability, right? The individuals who died, there's no adjudication. This is a big part of my extension. There's no adjudication of the values they stand for, right? I think that is harmful, and we lose that out. We think it's a horrible trade-off as a result of the drone policy, right? But we think of all these reasons, Mr. Speaker, we think it's important, first of all, to recognize that you cannot kill individuals, you cannot continuously kill individuals as a sustainable policy when it comes to defeating the war on terror. You have to change hearts and minds, and the only way to do so, Mr. Speaker, is to force those individuals themselves from the backyard from which they derive their support. That's where it needs to change the most, right, Mr. Speaker. For all these reasons, right, for the fact that drones are a poor tool if you're in a harm-benefit analysis, the fact that you have to change the paradigm on the war on terror, we are very, very proud to win this debate.
Thank the member for his remarks. We now call upon the